This is the Chapter 4 review for the test. Let's start with the always, sometimes, never questions. First one says the perpendicular bisector of one of the sides of a scaling triangle passes through the vertex of the triangle. Well, a perpendicular bisector and scaling triangle contradict each other. You can't have a perpendicular bisector in a scaling triangle, so the answer was never. Number 2, if 2 points of a line lie in a plane, then the entire line lies in the plane. Sure, we had a plane, and if 2 points are in the plane, you connect those points to make a line. So that will always happen. The product of the slopes of two non-vertical perpendicular lines is -1. Pick a slope. Pick, let's say, 3/4. The opposite reciprocal of that, the perpendicular slope, is -4/3. So when you multiply these two together, you get -12/12, which is -1. Any two slopes that are opposite reciprocals of each other will multiply to get -1. That answer is always. 4, the altitude to the leg of an isosceles triangle is also the median of the leg. So it's the altitude. This is an isosceles triangle. This is an altitude. It is also a median, not always, only sometimes. If this was also called an angle bisector, then it would be always, but they didn't say that. Number 5, in a plane, if 2 points Q and R are equal distance from the endpoints of AB, then any points between Q and R are equal distant to AB. That's exactly what the rule of equal distant is. These 2 points are the stationary points here, A and B. Those are the endpoints, and then Q and R is the bisector. So it's just like saying, hey, here's A, B. Those are the stationary points. You have Q and R, the lines connecting it. So anywhere on here would be equal distance. And last but not least, if the slope of a line is greater than the slope of m, then the line is steeper than the slope m. Well, that only works if the line L is greater, the slope is greater than that. So what we're saying is if you have a slope of 4/3, you went up 4/3, up 4/3. And then you have a slope of, let's say, 2/1. You go up 2/1, up 2/1. This slope is actually steeper, the 4/3, than the 2/1. So it works sometimes. Let's proceed to what you learned in 4.6 about slopes. So we're finding the slopes of QW. You have Q, you have W. So we're going to do -3 minus 4 all over 2 minus -7. Two negatives. We get -7/9. And we lock it in when we simplify it, and we're done. 8, find the slope of a line through Q parallel to RW. So parallel means same slope. So we want it parallel to RW going through Q. That'd be a line like this. There's no 2 points on there. But what we can find is the slope of RW. So we can do 9 minus -3 over 5 minus 2. Simplify, you get 12/3, which reduces to 4/1, or just 4. The slope of the median to QR. So it goes from W, goes to the middle of QR. Median causes midpoint, so we need the midpoint. So we'll call it M. We need to figure out what M is. We have -7 plus 5, -2 divided by 2, so that's -1. And 9 and 4 is 13. 13 divided by 2 is 13/2, or 6.5. Now we need to find the slope here. I would do -3 minus 6.5 all over 2 minus negative 1. So we get negative 9.5 over 3. Get out your calculator. Reduces to 19 over negative 6. And last but not least, find the slope of the altitude. Altitude causes perpendicular. You know perpendicular slopes are opposite reciprocals. Altitude to QR. Here's QR. Altitude would be somewhere around over here, causing perpendicular. So we can find the slope of QR. Slope of QR is 9 minus 4 over 5 minus negative 7. We end up with 5 over 12. This is the slope of QR, so we need the opposite reciprocal, so that's negative 12 over 5, and we're done. Moving on, number 11. Suppose V is the midpoint of CD, so we got C at negative 8, 3, V in the middle at 9, negative 5, and D at the other end, which is x comma y. Using the formula, I got negative 8 plus x over 2 equals 9. We multiply by 2. Negative 8 plus x is equal to 18. Add the 8 over. X is equal to 26. And then y would be 3 plus y over 2 is equal to negative 5. Get 3 plus y is equal to negative 10. Minus the 3 over, y equals negative 13. So the answer is correct in the answer column, 26 comma negative 13. Number 12, NF and NV are perpendicular. So if you think about it, N is the middle point. You got N, which is 2 comma 3. You have V, which is 5, negative 1. And then F, which is negative 13 comma y, and that's what we got to find. Well, what can we do? We know that these are perpendicular. Perpendicular have opposite reciprocals for the slope. So we can find the slope of NV. The NV has a slope of negative 1 minus 3 over 5 minus 2, which to me looks like negative 4 over 3. So the slope of NF is equal to 3/4. We can do the formula here, and we can say, hey, 3 minus y over 2 minus negative 13 equals 3/4, because that's what the slope is. Over here becomes 15. When we cross multiply, these get multiplied together, and these get multiplied together. So we get 4 times 3 minus y, set it equal to 15 times 3. So we get 12 minus 4y is equal to 45, minus the 12 over. Negative 4y is equal to 33, divided by negative 4, and y equals negative 33 over 4. 13, A is TW, B is TQ. Find if the slope of AB is 3/8, express the term T in W and Q. So it's the same idea as above. What you can do is you can say, okay, Q minus T over Q minus T over T minus W is equal to 3/8. Cross multiply, you get 8 is Q minus T. And we get 3 is T minus W. This transforms into 8Q minus 8T, which equals 3T minus 3W. Bring the T's over this way. Bring the W over this way, and we get 8q plus 3w equals 11t. We want to solve for t, so we'll divide by 11, and this is your answer for t. 8q, this should be, plus 3w equals 11. Number 14, we have all of the pieces. So this is QR, RT, TW, VW, that, all of that creates the perimeter of 44. So when I see it, I have 3x squared. I have 5, 8, minus 1, so that's 7. And we got 23 and 14, that's 37. This is negative 10, we're at 11. So we said this was 37, so we got 38, all equaling to 44. Minus it over, 3x squared plus 7x minus 44 over, we get a negative 6 equaling 0. Multiply, we need two numbers that multiply to negative 18, but add to 7. So the 3x squared comes down, the negative 6 comes down. Two numbers that multiply to negative 18 but add a 7 are negative 9 and, 9 and negative 2. So we can pull out an x, leaving me with 3x minus 2. And here we can pull out a positive 3, leaving me with 3x minus 2. So after we factor it, we get 3x minus 2 and x plus 3. This answer is negative 3. This answer is 2/3. All right. When I put in 2/3 here, and I say 2/3 and I square it, I get 4/9 minus 6. That gives me a negative answer, so negative 3 is the one that works. Is RV perpendicular to QW? So is this line here perpendicular to here? You only know that if these 2 points are equal distant. So when you plug negative 3 back in, you get QV is 14. When you plug it over here, you get 14. So you know it's isosceles. When you plug it in here, you get negative 15 plus 23, so that's 8. And then negative 3 squared, so this is 3. And then this is 6. This is 5. So this is going to go into here, which means that it's isosceles triangle with a median, which means that idea of that perpendicular bisector. So yes, it is perpendicular. Question 15. This is a perpendicular bisector here, right? Causing these two to be right angles, causing these two to be congruent. We want to find BC, which is half of this. Find the sum of x and y. So x, we can set up 2x squared minus 14 equals to 8x minus 4. Simplify, we get 2x squared minus 8x minus 10 equals 0, because we're going to add 4 over that way. Pull out a 2, leave me with x squared minus 4x minus 5. We can factor this guy. It's got a leading coefficient of 1, so x and x. Multiplies the negative 5, but adds the negative 4, negative 5, positive 1. So the answers are 5 and negative 1 for x. And if I try to plug in -1 here, I get a negative answer, so x ends up equaling 5. For the y's, I can say these two add to equal 180. Or since I know it's perpendicular, I could set 27 minus 9y equal to 90. Negative 9y is equal to 63. So y equals -7. So the sum of x and y is 5 plus -7, which is -2. And if I want BC, I can plug it back into here, and I end up with the answer of 13 when I solve for it. 16, what is the distance from C to AB? The shortest distance is a straight line between the two. So you can look at it. From C to AB, across this side right here is pretty short. If we go this way, we're getting longer and longer and longer and longer because of the right angle. It's taking me more time. So the shortest distance is actually this side, BC. 17, find the slope. So we got -5.8 minus 2.7 all over 3 root 6 minus 3 root 6. Well, we get 0 in the bottom. I don't even care what this is. I got 0 in the bottom, so it's undefined. 8, we do 0.6 minus 3/5, which is 0.6 all over 14 minus -8. We get 0 over 22. Zeros on top, so this answer is 0. And last but not least, we get 19, which is 2/3 minus -5/8 all over -6 minus 5/9. I would do this in my calculator. My calculator would simplify it. Make in the answer column -93 over 472. If you can't get that using your calculator, you need to ask how you're able to use your calculator. Now for naming angle pairs. Alternating interior. Name the angles which are alternating interior to 7. Here's 7. Alternating interior would be crossed over the line here and inside, so it would be 3. And here 7, cross over the line, we have 9. Consecutive interior, so that's the same side interior as 9. Here's 9. Same side interior would be 8. And when I look at it this way, it's outside, so the only angle is 8. Corresponding with 14. 14's in the top right, so 16 would be the angle. Or if I look at it this way, it's over here, or this one over here, angle 6. Alternating exterior with angle 4. Here's angle 4. Alternating exterior is angle 8. Or 4 is here, then it's angle 14. And last but not least, consecutive exterior to angle 5. Exterior, so here's 5. Exterior, same side, would be angle 8. And if I look at it this way, it's interior, so there is nothing else. You need to know those names. Remember, consecutive means same side. Alternating meant different sides. Ask yourself, are they inside or outside? And last but not least, 25 through 27. For which pair of angles 1 and 2 are alternating interior with transversal D? See which ones make it. This side makes angle 1. This side and this side make angle 2. So the answer is AB and CD. For the next one, we have for which pairs make 3 and 4. This makes angle 3. This makes angle 4. So this time we have AD and BC. And last but not least, we want to know for which pairs make our angle C and angles 5 corresponding. Here's angle 5. Here's angle C. This line is a transversal, so that means we're looking at lines BC and AD to be the ones. That takes us to the end of the idea before the proofs. The next video will have the proofs for you.